What is the best prank you have ever pulled off? Stealing one pair of underwear from every single guy who lived in our dorm. It was hilarious. Like I had this like 4-page log of this list of all of the guys and how we stole their underwear. I woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning and we went to hang this up and string this line of all of the guys' underwear between our dorm and the next dorm over. And it was just hanging across the courtyard and flapping in the breeze. It's Amanda with Eat Pray Crunch, and today I am doing a tag video because I have not done a tag video in a very long time, and I like doing them every once in a while because I think they're fun and I enjoy watching all of my fellow YouTubers do them because I learn interesting things about them. So I thought I would do one. About a month ago I saw Dana G23 do this tag, and that's where I first saw it, and I've actually seen a few other people do it since. I'll have her channel linked down below, and I will have all the questions in the description, so if you are a YouTuber and you would like to do this, you can see all of the questions there. And if you do this tag, be sure to leave me a comment later when you post this video because I would love to see your answers as well. So this tag is called the Questions That Nobody Asks tag. Now we're not talking like taboo questions nobody asks. These are just like interesting questions that most people wouldn't ask in normal conversation but might be interesting. Anyway, there are a lot of questions. There are 39 questions, so I am going to go through them as quickly as I can. So let's get started. Number 1, when driving, do you listen to CDs, tapes, the radio, or nothing? I think it's funny that they say CDs and tapes. What year are we in? 1997? But seriously, I actually do have a CD player in my car, and I have all of my old CDs from way back when, and it's a 6 CD changer, so I just put a bunch of my old music in there. Most of the time I actually do listen to the radio. When I am in town, I have 5 or 6 radio stations that I cycle through. But when there's nothing on one of those radio stations, or we're in a place that's kind of out of range, I have all of those CDs just sitting and living in my car as backup, and so I will listen to those. But I am almost always listening to music. I am a very music oriented person. You better believe when I am in the car, I am listening to music and I am singing along, and loudly. And my 3-year-old has even started singing along with the songs that he likes too on the radio. It's pretty cute. Number 2, are you a window person or an aisle person? So I don't fly that often, thankfully, because it's a huge hassle when you do have to fly. But when I do fly, I don't know, like, I think because I'm a photographer, I generally want to be next to the window, but I also get a little bit claustrophobic, and I do like the option of being able to get up if I feel like I need to walk around or move around or go to the bathroom, because I also have a bladder the size of a walnut. I don't know. Ideal situation is, when I am traveling with people that I'm really close with, so I can sit at the window and take all of my pictures at the window and everything, and then, clamber over them to go to the bathroom if I need to, and they won't care because I know them and love them. Number 3, how do you relieve stress? Oh my goodness. As a mom, this is kind of an important question, isn't it? Honestly, probably the number 1 thing that I do throughout the day is just like browse on Facebook. Mom confession here. Yes, I do get on Facebook a fair amount during the day and just browse or post things or, have discussions with people about things. That's kind of like my adult outlet when I am with little kids all day. It kind of helps me have that adult stimulation, and that relieves stress for me. But I am, trying to be very intentional about not doing that too much during the day, and only doing it, when I'm not needing to be meeting a need of my kids, and still really focusing on giving them my undivided attention for a large portion of the day. But I do that. Another thing I've been really trying to do a lot more, as you guys know with my weight loss journey, is just exercising frequently. And I've actually been really good about that the last month or so. For the most part, achieving my goal of exercising every other day. I haven't 100% achieved that, but for the most part I have, and I'm really proud of myself. I've been doing my DVD workouts, I've been doing our elliptical that we have, been going on walks around the neighborhood with the kids and with my husband. That is really good for mental health and de-stressing as well. And I will honestly say that doing YouTube is, I mean, it is my hobby. It's my creative outlet. I love YouTube. I love doing this. It helps me connect with other moms and, you know, other like-minded people. And it's been so rewarding. And I would say that is definitely one of my sources of stress relief as well. Just having a hobby that is, you know, outside of motherhood, even though it's often related to motherhood, but you know what I mean. I think that that really helps me relieve stress because I work on YouTube almost every evening. Yeah, that's how I relieve stress. Number 4, what was your favorite childhood TV show? So when I was a kid, my parents only let me watch PBS and the Disney Channel. Back in the 90s when the Disney Channel was like legit Disney, like cartoons and stuff. And man, how about I just list off a bunch of the shows that I liked. When I was really little, I obviously loved Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, and I love them so much that I show those to my kids as well. When I got a little older, I really liked the show Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and what was that show that was like prior to Thomas and Friends? What was that? Shining Time Station. Do you guys remember that show? I think it was on PBS. But it was like the Thomas trains, as I recall, and I really liked that show when I was a kid. What else did I watch? And then on the Disney Channel, I watched, you know, Mickey Mouse Club, and then all of the classic Disney cartoons. I remember there were the ones, I can't believe I still remember the names of these shows, but it was like Mouse Tracks and, what was the other one? Quack Attack. And it was like, you know, classic Disney cartoons. I loved watching those when I was a kid. 3-2-1 Contact, do you guys remember that? That really dates me, I know. Thumbs up if you guys were 80s babies as well and watched those same shows when you were a kid and those sound nostalgic to you. Number 5 is when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Gosh, I feel like there were so many things I wanted to be when I grew up. I mean, the one overarching thing I wanted to be when I grew up was a mother. I mean, that's always been my consistent dream that has never changed at all since I was a very, very small child. And Dana had this same answer in her video, and she was talking about how a lot of people in today's society thinks like, well, that's great if you want to be a mother, but what else do you want to be? Like, as if being a mother isn't that important. Which I think is a little strange because I really think that mothers are extremely valuable, and you know, parents in general have like the most important job in the world because it's like the profession that creates all other professions, right? Everybody had to be raised somehow, right? And doing it well is really important. And I've just always believed that. I've always wanted to be a mom. I played house so much when I was a kid. I loved my baby dolls. I also love trucks, so I had a pretty well-rounded childhood, I guess. And so here I am, I'm living the dream, and I am doing exactly what I have always wanted to do, being a mother. In terms of, you know, working outside the house, career, I went through a whole slew of different things that I wanted to be, you know, throughout my childhood and adolescence. I remember when I was a really little kid, I wanted to be a pediatrician, hence because I loved kids, I loved babies, I still do. And that was kind of my very small child aspiration. I remember liking going to the doctor when I was a kid. At one point, I wanted to be a teacher. I've mentioned in a number of my other videos that I actually almost became a teacher, but that ended up not working out, and for the better. But it was something I was definitely considering for a large portion of my life. I remember I had a few different aspirations when I was in high school. I remember I wanted to be an architect at one point just because I have a creative side and that sounded really appealing to me, designing and doing that kind of thing. But then I realized that there's a lot more math in being an architect than I am comfortable with. I am terrible at math. Let me just put that out there. I always have been. I always will be. I tried my hardest. I got through in school, but I'm not great at math. So that ended up not being my best career choice. Another point, I wanted to be a counselor. And that was actually something that I toyed with even into college a little bit. I just like the idea of being a therapist and helping people. Yeah, that was something that I aspired to at one point. And along the lines of teacher, I actually was considering being a Spanish teacher at one point. I took 6-7 years of Spanish throughout my school. Like, I started taking Spanish in middle school, and I took it partway through college as well. I was considering being a Spanish major actually, but the Spanish department at the school I went to kind of sucked, so I ended up not going that route. But I still do love Spanish, and I am teaching it to my son a little bit now, which has been a lot of fun. I remember at one point when I was a kid I wanted to be an astronaut, but then I learned what all was involved with that and how much math is involved in being an astronaut. And I have really bad motion sickness, so probably blasting off in a rocket probably wouldn't be the best choice for me. Nonetheless, I still think going to space would be pretty darn amazing. But yeah, that was definitely one of my dreams. My son is kind of interested in maybe being an astronaut right now at age 3, so that's been fun. Number 6, what is the best prank you have ever pulled off? So those of my college friends who are watching this will know what I am talking about. Our dorm, our freshman year, there was a tradition for the section that we lived in. And it had been, I think it was started the year before we went there. And I actually saw in my college magazine that they're still doing it now. I was a freshman in college in like 2002, 2003. And it's still going on now. So I think it's awesome that they're carrying on this prank. It's amazing. Anyway, I'll put in pictures as I talk here. So what it was basically the reverse of a panty raid. So all of us girls that lived in this section in our dorm spent the entire year very sneakily stealing one pair of underwear from every single guy who lived in our dorm, the guy section. We had a little code word for it, which we called Op Under, which was Operation Underwear. And we, oh my gosh, I think it's hilarious thinking back now that we did this. Yeah, we would go around and like be really sneaky. Like we would actually sneak into guys' rooms and just like take their underwear. And we were like collecting, I mean, there must have been like 50 guys living in this dorm, and it took us the better part of a year to get every single one. And I think there actually was like 2 guys that we didn't get because they locked their door every single time they left their room. Like even to go to the bathroom, they would like lock their door. So we didn't get theirs, but every single other guy we got. And we actually kept a log. I still have this log somewhere. I should see if I can find it because it's pretty hilarious, because we would have the guy's name, the names of the people who were stealing that particular guy's underwear, and, you know, little notes about, you know, how we went about doing it, or if it was a close call, or if we almost got caught, or that kind of thing. It was hilarious. Like I had this like 4-page log of this list of all of the guys and how we stole their underwear. Last day of school before summer vacation, we'd been prepping this for a week or 2 beforehand, but all of us girls would like all pile into one of our dorm rooms, and we got this huge clothesline. We must have tied a bunch of them together, and we pinned every single guy's underwear onto this huge clothesline. And I have pictures of this, you guys. I'll insert some of them here just because it's hilarious what, you know, 18-19-year-olds do their freshman year of college. So there were like 10-15 of us that woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and we went to hang this up and string this line of all of the guys' underwear between our dorm and the next dorm over. And it was just hanging across the courtyard and flapping in the breeze. And we left little signs all over campus that said, our section proved that the guys who live in, you know, blah 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 dorm have the best taste in underwear, and we plastered these flyers all over campus so people would come and see it. Most of the guys thought that it was pretty hilarious as well. There were one or two who were like mad about it and were like trying to knock their underwear down because they were embarrassed or whatever. It was hilarious, and we were so proud of ourselves that we pulled this off, that we managed to steal almost one pair of underwear from every single guy in our dorm and string it across the courtyard on the very last day of school.